everyone, welcome to Good Morning Mrs. Robinson. Some of you might know me from my other series called Morning Mindfulness Minutes with Mrs. Robinson. I'm starting a new one about morning mindful eating with Mrs. Robinson. I'm still working on the name, but it's going to have mindful in it, it's going to have eating in it, and it's going to have Mrs. Robinson in it. So we'll just call it that. Today we're going to be making a delicious clean frittata. And that's come about because I started a couple weeks ago this clean eating challenge where it's encouraging me to eat more healthy foods, more green stuff, all that stuff. So this is one of the recipes that they gave us to try. So we're gonna try that today because my goal is to try one new recipe every week. So instead of just doing that by myself, I decided I'm gonna do that with you guys. So here we go. First thing, come a little closer, my friend. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is cutting a medium-sized onion, like so. This might be a little larger than a medium one, but don't worry. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, wait a minute, let me get a junk bowl. I always watch the Food Network, and they always have a bowl reserved just for all the scraps and stuff, so I guess it doesn't get too messy. So that's what we're gonna do here, my junk bowl. And if you're looking at any of these very unhealthy cereals right behind me on top of my refrigerator, they're not mine. They belong to my husband Rajan because he likes a lot of sugary cereals, and he even had the nerve to get my very most favorite in the whole entire world, cereal, and he left it on the counter just to entice me to eat it, but I said no, I'm not doing it. And that cereal is Smacks, by the way. I love Smacks. All right, so I'm cutting this, you want to get a closer look here, very thin, because we don't want to eat the frittata and have huge chunks of onion in it. So you're going to cut it as thin as you can. Please don't mind my nails. I'm in desperate need of a nail salon. So I got 3 holding on for dear life, but hopefully by next week those will be off as well. Okay, one side. All right, let's do that other side. Like I said, you're cutting these as thin as you can. And technically you should be doing like this so you don't cut your fingers, so your knuckles are out, so it kind of blocks it from cutting your fingers off, which, you know, I do sometimes, but I'm not super used to it, but you do what's comfortable for you. All right, so we got our onions chopped. Then we're doing, I think, I'm following a recipe here, 2 cloves of garlic minced. Now, today I have this garlic, like the fresh garlic, so I'm trying to be fancy for you guys. But normally I get the pre-minced, pre-chopped garlic, but it just so happens that I'm out of it right now. So I did have some regular garlic in there, so I'm going to chop this up. And also would be helpful if I had one of those garlic smasher thingies. That would be very helpful. But I do not have one of those either because I always get the pre-chopped garlic. But yeah, tons of new things going on today. So yeah, new video, new way of having to do this garlic thing. So like they do on the Food Network, they take the garlic, they mash it with a big knife, and they mush it around a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Put all your weight onto it. Okay. Cut off those hard ends. And then you're just going to cut that small as possible. This is why I get pre-chopped garlic. But I guess this is more, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people make up, well, not make up, well, sometimes they make up things that make something that's really hard, have a good benefit when it doesn't have that much of a good benefit. But go to the cast iron pan here. If you don't have a cast iron, use anything that you're able to put into the oven after you're done cooking it. So cast iron, of course, it goes from the stove top to the oven. But other pans with plastic handles, of course, you can use something like that. It would also be beneficial if you had a cast iron lid I don't have one of those yet. Things I'm gonna put on my to get list. So I'm gonna be using that lid for now. That lid can't go in the oven, but that's okay. So next thing we're gonna do is olive oil. So I'm only gonna be using 1 tablespoon of olive oil for this, which I think is not enough, but you know, it's supposed to be a healthy type frittata. You know what? I'm gonna cheat just a smidgen, there you go. That's it. Come on. So, okay. So once you get that in there, you're gonna move that around, or better yet, I have a little brushy thing here. This is what I use when I'm doing, like, you know, for Thanksgiving or something like that, you gotta like bake something, maybe turkey or maybe whatever. I use this thing. Okay. All right, so that's that. So I'm gonna get the onions going. Get that going. We're going to put the onions in there, get them going a little bit. Use whatever kind of spatula you want. I got a rubber one here that can take up to a certain amount of heat. Come in closer a little bit. Look at these onions here. So the goal is to get these kind of caramelized. If you don't know what caramelized means, that means like it's going to turn a slightly golden, tanny type color. Okay? All right. Since you got that going, we're going to put this garlic in here as well. Put that in there. Get that going. And if you've never cooked onions and garlic before, should be looking at me. And if you have never cooked onions and garlic before, you're going to get a very wonderful smell coming out right now. I mean, you can't go wrong with onions or garlic, and definitely not both. So, yeah, it's gonna smell like you're cooking something really big deal already. So if you're not really a good cook, or you never really cooked before, and you want to try something new and healthy, put some garlic and onions in a pan and let it go, and watch people come and be like, what are you cooking? What's going on? That's gonna happen. Totally gonna happen. All right, so next, in a bowl, I'm gonna mix my egg whites. Yes, I said egg whites. No, I'm not going to crack every egg and separate the egg whites. We don't have time for that today, or any day. So I'm gonna use 1 regular egg. Crack that, make sure you don't get any shells in there. And then I'm going to use 8 egg whites, which pretty much means I'm going to be using about a cup of egg whites. Egg whites are very good for you. Evidently, they're like the best part of the egg. That's like where all the nutrients and stuff are. So you can't go wrong with an egg white. Actually, in the morning for breakfast, I make a vegetable scramble with predominantly egg whites. Let's go back to here. We don't want it to burn. We want it to caramelize, not burn. And garlic can indeed burn quicker than onions. I'm going to turn this down a little bit more. Yeah, okay. All right, back over here. So we got those two. Whisking the egg whites, oat milk. So we're using almond milk for this, not regular milk, because evidently regular milk is not that awesome for you. And if you're lactose intolerant, this is awesome as well, because there's no lactose in almond milk. It's made for almonds. And I would definitely get the unsweetened version. It doesn't have to be this brand, but definitely the unsweetened version, because you don't want sweet, sugary stuff in your eggs. I mean, I wouldn't, but, you know, if that's your thing, then maybe you would. All right, so 1/3 of cup. And it's always good to have your measuring tools ready so that you're not like in the middle of cooking looking for a bunch of stuff that might be hidden or somewhere that you forgot it was in. So as you can see, This is what it's looking like right now. As everybody knows, egg whites are clear. Let's not forget this again. You're gonna turn this, I'm gonna turn this more down. I just don't want it cooking too fast, you know? But it is starting the caramelizing process, as you can see. As you can see, some of the onions are getting that brown, tan type vibe. They're getting more looser, more softer, more smell gooder. That's not a word. Smell good. They're starting to smell better, good, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so we're gonna whisk these egg whites, this one egg and this almond milk together. Like so. You can use a whisker, as you can see here. We're gonna whisk it so that all the egg yolk is incorporated into the milk and egg whites. We don't want no big old clumps of yolk anywhere in here. If it gets a little frothy like that, don't worry about it. It's cool, it's all good. If you don't have a whisker, use a fork. Same thing. Okay, so now, actually, we're gonna beat this a little more. It's supposed to be more frothy. Here. See all the froth? Froth is like bubbles. It's like all the bubbles. You're putting air, really. You're putting air into the oatmeal. You're putting air into the eggs and the egg whites so that they'll be more light and fluffy. That's the purpose of that. All right? Okay, so what we're gonna do now, oh, forgot something. Spinach. Now they're telling me to use 4 cups of spinach, baby spinach, which I have here. And I have it in a Ziploc bag. Now, naturally, it comes like this, but these tops are so not closable. And what I used to do is like used to fold it and then like put a little clip on it, but then it'll start splitting on the sides. I'm like, screw it. Let's put the whole thing in a Ziploc bag. And that has worked perfectly. Okay, so 4 cups. 4 cups is probably about whatever's left in this bag. So I'm going to roughly tear it, because I don't want like evenly shaped tears. I don't want, you know, like a more of a roughy, naturally, some big, some little. I definitely want the stems in there. Nothing wrong with stems. It's all edible. Let me turn this fire up a little bit more. And I'm just going to use this whole entire rest of this bag, which should equate to about 4 cups. Now you might be saying, oh my gosh, Mrs. Robinson, that's so much. Why are you putting so much spinach in there? Look how high it's going to be. But you know what? Spinach is one of those vegetables that welts down. It welts down, so it might look like a lot right now, but by the time it cooks down, it would look like I hardly put anything in there. It looked like I hardly even put anything in there. So, I'm just going to use the rest of that. Throw that in there. This is going to be grand, everyone. And spinach does not take too long to cook. So look at the spinach now. Get a close up on that. All right. I'm about to do a trick here where you're going to see it like this, and then voila, and voila. Look in my pan. There. So it's welted. The onions and garlic are nice and tender and caramelized, and this is what we got. So I'm going to spread it in the pan a little bit because I'm about to pour the eggs on top of this. Actually, I'm about to put the seasoning in. Now, if you are in a little bit of a rush and don't have enough time to properly wilt all of your spinach, there is a little trick to that. You can put a little bit of water in there and cover up with the pan, let it go for a little bit, and then stir it back up again. Okay, so I'm going to turn the fire back down so I can get this seasoning in. So there's not a lot of seasoning involved in this. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So I'll be using 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and a pinch of nutmeg. 1/4. Look at me. I don't have a 1/4 teaspoon. So, which only have 1/2 teaspoon, which only means it's only half of this thingy. So I'm gonna eyeball it. That looks about enough. So 1/4 of that. And that is sea salt, not regular salt. Sea salt. It doesn't have to be the coarse kind, but as long as it's sea salt, you're good to go. This is my pepper, and it would have helped if I had the thing that I could just put a spoon into, but I don't. So here we go. So that's that. And a pinch of nutmeg. Now, to tell you the truth, I'm not a huge nutmeg fan, which is why I bought one of these, because I never use it. It's like this one of those things you use one time a year, like Thanksgiving, Christmas type stuff to make a pie, and you never use it again. So, but if you want, if that's how you feel about nutmeg as well, they sell these at most stores, you know, in small little thingies, so you don't have to like keep buying a new container of nutmeg that you're never going to use. So a pinch, I'm going to call that a pinch because I don't want to go overboard with the nutmeg. Alright, so I'm going to stir that up like so. Make sure the seasoning is, this music got weird. This is a baby singing? Anyway, so you're going to mix that together. And then you're going to separate it in the pan. Not separate it, but spread it out in your pan like so. So that the bottom is covered. And that, like, you don't have like large clumps of stuff in one spot since you're about to pour the eggs in. Okay, so I separated that like so. That's good enough. I'm going to take the egg, milk, and, well, the egg and milk mixture. Pour that up over top. Spreading it all around. My heat's still on low, you guys. Pour it all around, pour it all around. Boom. Done with that. Now, I'm taking ricotta cheese. Now, they want you to use low fat, so I got the part skim one, and I got the small container since I don't really need a whole lot. And to tell you the truth, I really don't use ricotta cheese like that unless I'm making lasagna or ziti or something like that. So, okay, so the ricotta cheese, I need to put 2/3 cups in here. So what I'm going to do, 2/3. Ha! Oh, here. Yeah, alright. Cleaning as you go. I'm not so great at that, but I will learn eventually. So I don't have a 2/3 per se, so I'm going to use 2 by 1/3, which obviously works just as good. So just make sure if you're doing that. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Now, they also want you to put it like little clumps of it throughout the frittata. So I'm taking this, and of course, you should have clean hands in case you need to get in there with your finger. And just put little plops all around. Little plops all around. Oh, and if I didn't say it already, you should be preheating your oven to 375. Because this is going to be going in the oven. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and do it. Preheat your oven to 375. Okay, we're on our second third. Okay. This is looking interesting already. I feel like it needs another pop of color, but that's not on the recipe. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like to revise and edit recipes and kind of like make them my own, but since this is my first time making this one, I'm going to stick to what they say I should do. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit for a little bit because I want the bottom to set. So maybe like, I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Turn the fire up a little bit because I want the eggs to set at the bottom. And when I say set, I kind of just mean for them to cook a little bit. So to know that that is happening, you will see like some bubbling action, as you can see here, happening in the pan. Let's get a close up on that. Let's make this look a little prettier here. So yeah, and then you'll start seeing like it turning a little bit white on the sides. Shake a little bit if you want. But yeah, it's pretty set now. So it's set. Turn that off, and I'm going to transfer this to the oven. Put that all the way in there. This is why it helps to have a pan that can go from top to the oven. All right, so once that gets in there, you're going to bake that for 8 minutes. Let's set our timer here. Okay, so set the timer, let that go. Voila! 8 minutes have passed. Wasn't that fast? So I'm gonna pull it out, see what it's looking like. So here we go. I so wish I added some red peppers to this. Wouldn't it look better with some red in there? So as you can see, the ricotta didn't totally melt, but it kind of like, you know, melted a little bit. So, and then, you know, you can see that it's done because the top is no longer jiggling. Shake it if you want. And, yeah, so this is a clean frittata. Okay, you guys, I just have to add some roasted red peppers on the top. I just can't. It just needs it. It needs it. So I bought these already roasted, and they're roasted in water with garlic, so they're already kind of pre-seasoned. During the little break, I did wash some dishes, so all this stuff is clean. So I'm just gonna take some red pepper, cut it into thin slices here, and then I'm gonna cut it again into little square things here. I don't want huge chunks of it. Just a little something, you know, a little something. Take this, and what I'm gonna do is spread that up top like that. Look at this. Doesn't this look gorgeous? My friend Shakura says that word all the time in her videos. Gorgeous. This is so gorgeous. This looks gorgeous. If you're watching, shout out to Shakura. She does paparazzi. It's called Chic Embellishments. Hit her up. She's on Facebook, probably Instagram, all that good stuff. But yeah, her videos are pretty fun to watch and buy from, obviously. So yeah, so this is it. Yes, I just Christina-fied it, and that's okay. So I hope you liked the clean, delicious clean frittata. It only took about, what, 8 minutes to cook? Okay, in total, maybe 25 minutes. But that's nothing, because this has 4 servings, so you would cut this into 4, and a fourth of it be something you can, will be the size of a proper meal size. And that's pretty big. So, hope you enjoyed the show, and you come back next week. I plan on posting these once a week, maybe Wednesdays, maybe Fridays, but it's definitely gonna be once a week. So please subscribe, please like, please click on that little bell so that when I do put out new videos, you'll be able to be notified that they're there. Okay, thank you a lot for watching. Have a great day.